Now, why are you here?
I am here because my ex-husband is suing me for an op-ed I wrote.
So the issue here, Your Honor, is a couple-fold, and I'll take the statements, well, two of them in one category and one of them in the other category. But I think we're all clear that the sole issue here is whether Amber Heard can be held liable to Mr. Depp for defamation arising from the 2018 op-ed and the 2018 op-ed alone. And to establish that, Mr. Depp has to prove the following elements. He has to prove that the publication of the op-ed and that it was written by Ms. Heard.
Okay. Now, why are you here?
I am here because my ex-husband is suing me for an op-ed I wrote.
Your Honor, very quickly, it's a judicial admission. They admitted in Ms. Heard's answer, she admitted to the tweet. So that establishes that she adopted the op-ed in its entirety, and it was discussed. We talked about judicial admissions. One was the op-ed itself. The second, and this is reflected
Your
in the
Honor, if I could
transcript.
finish my argument, I mean,
I
would appreciate.
I can't wait to oppose this. Anyway,
That's
so.
fine. Go.
Because my ex-husband is suing me for an op-ed I wrote.
And to establish that, Mr. Depp has to prove the following elements. He has to prove that the publication of the op-ed and that it was written by Ms. Heard.
Because my ex-husband is suing me for an op-ed I wrote.
But the only evidence that has been presented in this case, Your Honor, by Mr. Doherty was that the op-ed wasn't Ms. Heard's idea.
Okay. Now, why are you here?
I am here because my ex-husband is suing me for an op-ed I wrote.
That the ACLU asked her to write the op-ed, and indeed that they even wrote the first draft.
For an op-ed I wrote.
And then that Ms. Heard vetted the finished article with her lawyers and with lawyers from the ACLU to make sure that it wasn't problematic. That is the only evidence in the record.
For an op-ed I wrote.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 1, which is Amber Heard putting her name on the entire article, including the title. That is the only evidence before you.
For an op-ed I wrote.
They want to come back later and say, gee, she didn't write the title, as if that were a defense. I hope they make that argument. I hope they make that argument to the jury, because it's about as credible as her argument that, oh, I wasn't referring to Johnny Depp. She didn't have to. And the testimony of Terrence Doherty was very clear that when they took out the references to Johnny Depp, no one was interested in this article anymore. So she said, put it back in, make it more spicy so people would read. Otherwise, she couldn't get it in the Washington Post. It would be back in Teenage Vogue, which is the other publication that was considering publishing it, because no one was interested in what she had to say unless she was defaming Mr. Depp.
For an op-ed I wrote.
In this matter, there is evidence in the case that a jury could weigh that the statements were made by the defendant.
For an op-ed I wrote.